Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. And this thing again, about to finish off, or pick up where I left off at. Guess I'll dive into the whole Willie Lynch thing. Now I read the Willie Lynch letters when I was in jail, and you know, now you got people who say that, well, though that basically the story goes, Willie Lynch was supposed to be a slave master in the Caribbeans that took notice that a lot of took notice to a lot of slave rebellions that took place in the Americas, and I guess contrary to what was going on in the Caribbeans or whatever. And basically what he did was wrote a letter which explained to American slave owners how to make their slaves more docile to prevent these curtail these rebellions. So now you have people who are saying that, well, Willie Lynch never existed. And that letter, somebody just wrote that or whatever, which very well may be true. But either which way, when you read the Willie Lynch letters, you know that these are tactics that were used. You know that the things that were described, in this letter, were actually the strategies that they were using, because you can see, because for one, it wasn't meant to just be for that day or 400-500 years ago, whatever. It was to not only make more of a docile physical slave. More importantly, at least in regards to their agenda, it was to have a psychological effect that would last all the way through many different ages, even after slavery transformed and took on a new structure, so to speak, where it'd be more so based off of a mental slavery than a psychological, a physical slavery or whatever. But you know, you in the letter, if you haven't read it, it breaks down how to keep it. One of the things it speaks on is how to keep black people divided by any little thing you can. So they pitted slaves against each other based on many different things. You know, my plantation better than your plantation. I'm light skinned, so I'm better than you. Dark skinned this. The letter specifically states to keep them divided. Use anything you can to keep them divided against each other. And as you can see today, that still seems to be the case. You know, even it kind of died down now, but it was an era on social media where, you know, it was a light skin versus dark skin thing, you know what I'm saying? And You know, when you see it on social media, uh, you know, for the most part, it's kind of, it always seems under the guise of of jest or joking. But we do know that that is a reality, because uh, we've all been around, been in situations or been around, like, I can't say it never really happened in my family, but I've been around friends who've had family members that treated the light skinned kids better than the darker kids and shit. I have seen it with my own eyes, and it's something that's ingrained within the subconscious of black people, based off of this Willie Lynch thing. You know, if you actually go and read the Willie Lynch letter, and then you look at society, you'll really see the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious. You know, unless you don't want to see it. But I brought the Willie Lynch thing up in regards to the last thing I was talking about in the other video, about how they deal with women one way and deal with the men another way. One of the things that was stated in that letter was to take the black man and pretty much beat him within an inch of his life in front of his woman and kids, or pregnant woman. And what this does is serves multiple purposes. What it does is, by the woman being pregnant, the fear that the fear that comes from watching this atrocity transfers to the baby. So it just goes to show you how diabolical these motherfuckers was. They were all about the business of making sure they was trying to get whatever the fuck they was trying to do, they was trying to get it done. From you, the motherfucker in your womb, and all that. And it all goes back to fear. So the fear that the woman has obtains by watching this transfers to the baby, plus, you know, it affects her as well. And it puts her in a mentality where that the kids that she already has, or the baby that she's about to have, she reinforces the fear that they have and encourages the child to be even more submissive to the slave master or whatnot. And you know, whether it be, you know, the kid, whether it be the kid that was in the womb or the kid that was already up there. Sometimes, you know, they'd kill the man, or sometimes they'll just beat him within an inch of his life or whatever. Sometimes they killed the women too, but he specifically stated not to kill the woman. If killing the woman could be avoided, then do so, because they said the woman was good economics. Also, by the man always being the historically viewed as the protector of women, what this does is break that. You know, it breaks that. So when you fast forward to today, what do you have? How does that translate into today? Well, that translate into today with the whole thing of I don't need a man. Niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Who needs a man? Blah 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 blah. All this type of this mentality. If you read this Willie Lynch thing, you will see spot on that a lot of the ways that we think in regards to reality today were systematically placed upon us. And like I said, I know it's not the case with everybody, but this has become I personally think especially via pop culture, entertainment or whatever, music, we really perpetuate a lot of adverse thought forms, or at least adverse to us. And you know, like the whole divide, you know, it's, you hear it all the time, divide and conquer. So the man being broke down or beat in front of his woman today, that takes in today's times, you know, over the last past, I guess you could say well, at least since I've been around, been here, you can see the way that the hanging and beating the man translates into the what's the right word I'm looking for? It basically today it translates as fucking up the image and the way that black men are viewed, black people in general. But like I said, with women, they give y'all a little bit more leeway because, for one, they know that y'all are predominantly feminine. So by you being predominantly feminine, that means you're more emotional. And without that, man, which is predominantly rational, by your side, or let me just say, it would be an advantage to them to create a society where subconsciously black men and black women are pitted against each other. You know, I don't hang. I really haven't been in any white social circles, so to speak. You know, closest I come to that is jobs I done had, and even then, I always been mostly surrounded by black people or whatever. But I've never been around white people in a social setting to the degree to where I could actually gauge if they have these have the same problem, I guess, or whatever. You know, I mean, you listen to music, of course, you hear love songs and shit from all races, where you know, um, people complain about relationship problems. That's just universal. You know, that ain't just a black thing, but this conscious mentality of actually uh, going at each other and just sitting there picking at each other's flaws without really having any intention on trying to come up with solutions or trying to introduce a mentality that will reverse this type of thinking we have. You know, because on one hand, you do got niggas that ain't shit. Got women that ain't shit. Go both ways. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just one way or the other. And then you get on, I ain't gonna go into that, but yeah. So, and like I was saying in the other video, the actual breaking the man down based on the fact that the man is more so the warrior. Not saying that women aren't warriors either, but even if you just have to look at this, because we always had warrior queens too, you know, kick-ass women that was putting in work and shit back in the game. Even that, it's almost safe to say, even the whole concept of thinking that the man is just a protector and the woman is just this weak, timid person that he has to protect. Even that is a byproduct of the white man's misogynistic mentality. You know, it's on one hand, it's cool. Don't get it twisted. You're a man. That's just you got. You know, you're gonna naturally protect your woman, and on a broader scale of things, you just feel like, even with me, like if I see something that, you know, on social media or the news or something, or in the media or whatever, that I feel like is not healthy for black women, you know, or if I see something that's an attack on black women in general, you know, I feel moved to make a post or video or something and speak on it just on the strength. But back to what I was saying about the misogynistic mentality. This comes from his mind, because in his mind, only and I'm not talking about all white people, but I'm just, this is a definitely a prominent quality that they have, but in his mind, the man is over everything or whatever, or is the head of the ship or whatever, or should be. You know, some of the words I'm trying to say is they are the most sexist. This is why you hear. This is where. This is why you have things like the whole feminist movement and all that. That was not a black woman thing. That was white women having them type of problems when the feminist thing first started kicking off, like back in the game and shit. So even that, the whole black man being a protector of the woman thing, you know, we have to even look at that. And not saying you're not supposed to be like that, because that's natural. It's supposed, you know, it's vice versa. But I have read on black women in history that were warriors, feared warriors. Candace and other chick named Nzinga. Very impressive women in regards to strategizing in war. So I just want to speak on that and try to translate or show you how the transition was made from one type of slavery to another. Because you know, it just took on a different form. You just think of it like they used to wear white sheets, now they just put on suits, so you don't know who the fuck they are, or you don't know how it's coming. It's more concealed and hidden. That's how the whole game is. So I thought I'd drop that jewel on y'all before I get back into the story on Big Sis. So yeah, man, my sis, she passed some cancer. It was kind of weird how it happened, because like I said, I really couldn't, it was hard to get in contact with her once she had got sick. So we hadn't really talked, and I found out she had cancer. I think my sister told me. Her sister had told me and shit, and it kind of, it fucked me up. But at the same time, around that same time, I started hearing a whole bunch of people talking about alkaline water. So, I was like, damn, I wonder how the hell can I get some of this? It sound like I need to be in the mix with that. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go online and all that. Then one day I went to go pay my phone bill, so it was a long line in the phone store or whatever. So they start giving people numbers. So you didn't necessarily have to wait in line. You just had to know where you was at with your number or whatever. So I got my number, and I had stepped outside and walked through the shopping center or whatever. And this was right around the time I was wondering about this whole alkaline water thing. So I just so happened, I think I was trying to figure out if I wanted to give me something to eat or something. I was walking by the subway or some shit, and I'm walking, and something just so happened to tell me to look to my left. And I looked to my left, I seen an alkaline water store. I said, wow, bingo, here we go. And I'm trying to think, did I go in there that day or was it closed? I think it was closed. I don't remember going in that day. I might have, but I think it was closed, and I ended up going back. And I really liked that joint there, man. It was a lot of positive energy in there. The owners were they was Christian, good people though. I liked them. The man was a preacher, and that's why I say about you know, when you hear me speaking on preachers, like I always say, you have some that, you know, that's their faith and they believe in that, and so that's what they teach or whatever, or that's their thing, you know what I'm saying? And they genuinely believe in that doctrine. So, you know, they just really don't know no better. But if you have some out there, mainly the big names, you know, these motherfuckers be knowing. It's a whole money thing with them. But in this case, with I don't know if they want the names out there, but in this case, these was cool people, man. You know, I really dig, you know, real genuine energy, and I really dig the store because I brought that up. I said the reason I brought up that they was Christians is because it was funny because, you know, they was Christians, but see, when you're dealing with things like alkaline water attracts a lot of people who are conscious or on the verge of being conscious or seeking some type of alternative outside of what we've been fed in general in regards to spirituality, health, and all that. And I met a lot of people in there. As a matter of fact, it was one guy who was a chef for Dr. Sabi. He used to frequent that joint, and he was, he used to hook them up because, you know, like I said, it was alkaline water store, but, you know, they had all type of stuff, organic lollipops and organic soap and all type of just stuff that they used to sell when they sell the nozzles that you put on your shower to how you make your water coming out your shower alkaline, and you know, I assume filter out the fluoride, because fluoride in the water calcifies the pineal gland. So, and it was just a whole lot of stuff in there, man. You know, I used to really take delight in, you know, because I was working then, so on my off days, which would be Saturdays, for Saturday and Sunday, you know, that Saturday morning I get up, you know, take a shower and shit, then I go up there, give me some water, chop it up, have a good conversation. Like I said, I had good conversations with the owners, even though they was Christians. We still, you know, I don't, you know, I know how to deal with people. So I had conversations with them. Then there'd be people in there that, you know, who wasn't Christians, and, you know, they'd be more so along the lines of type of information that I'm into. And then you had Dr. Sabi, I can't remember his name, but the guy used to chef for Dr. Sabi. He used to go out there to Honduras. He'd be back and forth, and he used to always bring like new products to the store or whatever. I guess they had their little thing going on. He'll bring the products or whatever, and they'll sell it out the store. A lot of good stuff in there, man. And the owner was like, you know, when we was chopping it up, he was like, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't believe. He said his wife introduced him to the whole getting into the alkaline water thing, and he was like, man, I ain't gonna lie. At first, you know, I didn't believe in it. I just thought water was water and blah 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 blah. But then he started saying, when she got him to start drinking, he said he started feeling better, started feeling healthier, and he said not only that, a lot of people was coming in the store and saying, a lot of people who had different ailments was coming into the store and saying things like, well, they stopped going to the doctor and just started drinking alkaline water. People with cancer and all kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? He said a lot of people started coming in there with their testimony saying, man, since I've been drinking this alkaline water, my cancer went away, or blah 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 blah, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it was hard to get in contact with my sis, but I was at a point where I was like, I wanted to introduce her to this, to the alkaline water thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the story they were telling was real. You know what I'm saying? I know, because I know, for one, we, especially black people, we you know, we love to talk about melanin now, but what we have to understand about melanin is melanin heals. Melanin is one of the reasons why your body can heal itself. A lot of things with the medical industry, man, they play games with you. You know, that's why the common thing is, or they want people to make the think that the normal thing is you need to get a checkup every so often. And what happens with that is you go in there and you become an experiment. You might go in there, for one, when you're born, they can inject you with some shit or do anything or tell you that, or your kid has this. And like me, I had asthma, so they say. Or I did, but it's a funny thing, when I started smoking weed, my asthma went away. But that's another story. But sometimes I had to go to the hospital and shit, and whatever. But who's to say that they didn't do something to a motherfucker to give a nigga asthma in that motherfucker? So like I said, with the checkup thing, you go and you go in that motherfucker, you keep playing with them, they're gonna give you something. We put it like that. They're gonna tell you got something just to keep you coming back, even if it's just they might tell you, like, for example, my old man, they might tell you have diabetes, and you might be displaying some of the symptoms of diabetes. But what they're not telling you is that all you have to do is change whatever you're doing. It's not a diabetes, it's not a goddamn life sentence. Tell a motherfucker to stop eating pork, or be more, or lay off the sugar, drink more water. Because I was talking to my pops, and he was, I always be, kind of give him a hard time about going to the doctor and shit. Like I said, because this nigga ain't never had no goddamn problems till he started going to the goddamn doctor. But I give him a little hard time every now and then. But he was telling me how they had switched his medication up, saying that the other shit they had him on wasn't working. Now I'm like, well, hold the fuck up. You supposed to be the goddamn doctor. If the shit ain't working now, what you give it to him for in the first place? You dig what I'm saying? And we so caught up in thinking that these people have the answer that you won't even question that shit. A lot of motherfuckers won't even question it. Now I know he now, my old man ain't no dummy, so he did. And I think that was the whole reason, because like I said, he kind of coming around when we having conversations. He a little bit more understanding of what a nigga be saying now, because he, like I said, when we was having in the midst of that conversation, that was like part of the conversation. Like, yeah, these people full of shit. And so they can be giving you some shit, just tell you got some shit, just to give you some type of medicine. And the whole while they giving you this medicine not to heal something that you got, because you don't have shit. They giving you this shit to see what type of reaction it had in your body. That's why all the blood tests and shit and all that about. He'll take this, they come back 2 weeks later, and they come back draw some blood. Now they trying to see how this shit is having an effect on your body, especially black people. I ain't gonna count nobody out, but black people, you got to understand, we got this melanin, and we have the most. Our bodies are most capable of healing itself. The black body, we have the melanin. That's part of the melanin job. Is to heal. It's a healing mechanism. So how in the hell we end up as the lead in every goddamn disease? Black people leading diabetes. Black people leading heart disease. Black people. It's like, you know. At one, it comes to a point where you start looking at this shit like this shit ain't adding up. And that's to keep you coming in, because if you're black and you're looking at these numbers, these statistics, you're gonna naturally say, well, we lead. They say we leading in diabetes and we leading in this. I better go to the doctor and make sure I'm alright. Probably feel a little pain for a day or two or something that got you scared and shit. In all actuality, really you just need to stop eating some shit you eating or something. But instead you go to the doctor on the strength of some shit that was gonna heal itself anyway. And now you got a lifelong problem. Just trying to give you an example of how this shit works. Even with like the AIDS thing. Ain't no such thing as no fucking AIDS. That's some shit that you go in there and them motherfuckers pick if they want to tell you got this shit so they can give you the medicine that's gonna fuck you up. And on top of that, not only the medicine, once you start believing that shit in your mind, you start thinking that shit, you make the shit real. You think about when, I give you an example, when I first got my time and shit, you know, in jail, I had called my gal and shit, and when she answered the phone, she was telling her niece, yeah, girl, go and fix my plate and bring it to me. And she was like, hello? I'm like, what's going on? She's like, what's up? I said, shit, man, these motherfuckers gave me 10 years. And I could tell she was fucked up about it. And then how I knew even more so was when her niece came with the plate. She said, girl, I ain't even hungry no more. You take it, go put it in the ice box, whatever. And I know why she said that, because it had been plenty of times, and we all have been through it. You know, you might have an appetite, and then something fucked up happened, just fuck your whole appetite up. Well, you look at AIDS and shit, you tell a motherfucker they got some shit that's killing them, and then they believe in this shit, the stress gonna cancel your appetite out, because you're walking around this motherfucker like you on death row. So that's gonna stop a motherfucker from eating. That's why the motherfuckers be getting skinny and shit, and probably in addition to this goddamn medicine they taking, fucking them up. When the whole while that shit is a hoax. That shit is a motherfucking hoax. That shit was designed to. Now, you're not gonna stop black people from fucking. It's just that ain't, you know, that ain't gonna happen. Ain't nobody gonna stop fucking. That's sex is one of the most natural things on the planet. So, but in order to keep the population of niggas down and to keep motherfuckers in fear of each other sexually or whatever, they put that propaganda out there. So It ain't no different with cancer and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you the story now with the alkaline water thing. You know what I'm saying? People in there coming in with their testimonies like, man, I just thought, and the way alkaline water works, from how it was broke down to me, it makes plenty of sense. Cause all diseases and shit all boils down to mucus. Be honest with you, I don't eat pork. I stopped eating beef about 3 years ago. I dabble in it every now and then. I'll cheat, but you can't cheat with beef. I don't fuck with pork. Period. Sometimes I actually like one day I was in the goddamn in HEB in the food court and got one of the goddamn samples and they thought it was some chicken and that shit just happened to be pork. But you know, it ain't fucked me up or nothing. But that's if it'll be some accident shit if I ever been whenever I ingest pork or whatever. But beef, every now and then I give myself a little a little cheat day about once or twice a year. I really just slowed down on that shit. That shit turned into a hamburger once a year to shit, little piece of beef. But one thing I noticed after I stopped eating beef, I don't get colds and shit no more. You know what I'm saying? When you eat, most of the shit we eat got some shit in it that's, I guess you could say, quote unquote, not right or whatever. Grease or some shit. So like if I eat some chicken, say for example, I go eat some Popeyes, I eat that shit, and just like everybody else, I'm assuming, have a little phlegm in my chest, I spit it out, and that'll be that. That's about as close as I get to goddamn having mucus and chest congestion, which is a big thing considering how growing up, I used to get sick to the point where I used to have to go to the hospital for my asthma and shit, chest congestion, and all that shit. And one thing they used to do, the medicine they used to give, they used to always say, when I had them chest congestion and shit, they would say, keep them away from milk to these well. That's what they used to tell my mama them. And I realized why they do that is because milk is another, at least regular milk. I drink almond milk and shit, but regular milk, vitamin or whatever, regular milk, that shit does produce mucus. You know what I'm saying? And I would advise motherfuckers not to even fuck with that shit. You gonna drink some milk, drink some almond milk or some shit or something like that. Because the last time I drunk, I said fuck it, I went and got me a gallon of regular milk. And I could see the difference. But when I stopped eating beef, I don't get sick. I don't get colds and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The closest I come to that shit when they spraying that bullshit in the air, the chemtrails and shit, and the nigga go outside and that shit attack your nose, you get the nose running and all that old shit. But other than that, I don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, 3 or 4 years ago when I was eating beef, I still have that annual cold or that annual flu as they call it. You know what I'm saying? That I always had from a kid growing up. When you're growing up, you just think it's normal and shit. But once I stopped eating beef, I noticed that I wasn't getting the colds and shit and the mucus and all that old shit. Let me check the time real quick. Yeah, we got a little time. Yeah, I wasn't getting sick and shit like that. I mean, I don't get sick like that no more shit. And the shit's so spiritual, it got to the point to where every time I ate some goddamn beef, when I finally made the decision, like I was struggling with getting off of it, got to the point where shit, every time I ate some beef, some funny style shit would happen. I went up in Smash Burger and shit. They got some good ass burgers. Went up in there. Came out, my goddamn car was tripping. Then when I was out of town, when I was staying with my auntie and them, she had a birthday party. We like Mexican food and shit, so I ate a little beef that day, and shit, Later on that day, I was selling pills and shit. This cat used to sling the pills to. He used to give me a ride, like when I need to go get some groceries and shit, because we kind of stayed far from Walmart or whatever. So he'll come, like he hit me one day, like, shit, man, I'm finna go to, it's on late night, he's like, man, I'm finna go to Walmart, bro. You wanna ride? Need anything you gotta grab and shit? I said, yeah, you know what I'm saying, come school me up, blah, blah. So we get out there, going to Walmart and shit, come out, this nigga caught and broke down and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I pay attention to little shit like that. But that's one thing you might want to take into consideration, laying out that beef, because that is the source of a lot of mucus. You know what I'm saying? And mucus is from what I've heard, that mucus is basically, I had a book called The Mucus Diet. I don't know where the fuck it said now, man. Since I nigga was homeless and all that shit, nigga moving house to house, losing shit, books and all that old shit. So I don't even know where the fuck it's at now, but I had to get another one. But before I even got a chance to really get into it, I remember right when I got that book, that's when I started going to the alkaline water store, and the cat that was chef, Dr. Sabi's chef, was you know, he used to give like health lectures in there or whatever. And that's why I heard a lot of testimonies there too, you know what I'm saying? Shit was kind of sad too, because, you know, they had this one cat in there on dialysis, and he was, you know, he was talking to Dr. Sabi's chef. They telling him all the shit, you know, it was basically, he had basically came to the, you could tell, he was an older cat, but you could basically tell he had came to the conclusion that they had been jerking him, you know, and he was telling like, yeah, because they'll do this, and then they'll tell me that, and it's just ain't making no sense, man, and I'm just in all this pain. And Dr. Sabi's chef told him some real shit, you know. He was like, just stick with me, brother, and I'm gonna get you right. And he could, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of the things that we are made to believe are just devastatingly untreatable, and you have to just keep going through this and that, all these different processes that they send you through. That's really not even the case. You know, as far as medicine ain't necessarily bad, but you have to understand where medicine comes from. Medicine originally was herbs and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's why you got the whole herb thing now pumping heavy with the conscious community and all that shit. And really, everything in your body, every major organ has a particular type of food, has particular types of foods, mainly fruits and vegetables and herbs that basically you can partake of and cure, you know, cure yourself with and shit. Like, you know, you have to find a book on some herbs or something and figure out what part of the body each herb or fruit or vegetable corresponds to what organ, and it's just simple as that. You know what I'm saying? Now, once you get into the system, once you get into their system and shit, and they start cutting on you and all that old shit, and doing all kind of crazy shit. And they're not saying you can't come back from that, but that's why it's detrimental to really, you know, you got kids and shit, you know, try to take them another route, you know what I'm saying? You might have grew up eating pork, but, you know, keep them away from the shit, because that shit is not, like I say, beef, you can dance with that a little bit, but I've seen the results of stop eating beef, of not eating beef. And like I said, I ain't been sick. Since I stopped eating beef, I ain't had no colds and flus and all that shit. So evidently, and that's how you have to think. You have to be a scientist. You have to pay attention to your body. You know what I'm saying? You might be thinking your stomach might be hurting you or some shit for 2 or 3 weeks, and you thinking it's some major shit. When the whole while you're not even paying attention, you've been eating some shit, beef or whatever the fuck you've been eating, and the shit you eating is really you eating it constantly, so it's fucking your stomach up, or you drinking some shit, soda or something or whatever. And the whole while, all you had to do was lay off that shit or curtail how much or curtail how much of whatever it was you partaking of or whatever, and you'll be back. Like I say, because your body, we underestimate our own bodies. Your body regenerates itself. You get a scar on your skin and shit. Your skin heal too, right? So you know what I'm saying. It's like you have to start looking at you know, everybody screaming melanin, 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 but you have to really start understanding the benefits of melanin. It's a good book, right here. I'm gonna get into this later on in the segment. It's by Dr. Richard King. It's a book about melanin, African origins of biological psychiatry. Excuse me, Whitney. Excellent book. But yeah, I don't want to get too far off track. I'm already in. But I'm not. It's all in concurrence. So yeah, man. You know, some of the words what I'm trying to say is, and I'm gonna get deep into it, but I want to try to stay focused on sis. So I'm coming into all this information at the same time. And on one hand, it's hard to get in touch with it. On the other hand, I'm feeling like I'm kind of reluctant on talking to her about the alkaline thing, because with me, it ain't gonna just be the alkaline thing. I'm gonna tell her about the alkaline thing, but then the spirituality thing at least at the time I felt like it was gonna come up, and I was gonna, you know, introduce her to you know, the information that I had been dealing with. I felt like the alkaline thing would lead to that. And one thing about trying to or sharing this information with people, like I said, when I was in jail, I learned a lot of this shit, or all this shit or whatever. Well, that's when I really stepped my game up. Cause like I said, I was reading before I left. I read a couple of good books before I even went to jail. But when I came home, started talking to some people about this shit. Of course, they looked at the nigga crazy, which I thought it would be easier for me to at least teach this shit to people I grew up with, because my name, I always been good. I always been known as a real nigga. So, you know, I figured shit, if niggas see me as a real nigga, when I tell them this, my words gonna mean something, because you gotta know I'm not gonna be bullshitting. I ain't never been known as being a bullshit nigga. So, you know, I had that type of thinking, and wasn't necessarily the case. Some people took to it. But anyway, but a lot of people, you know, you end up falling out with them, trying to, you know, share this type of information with them. And like with me, it wasn't a thing of me trying to share it with people. It'd be more so of certain people I did go out, I already shared it with, but then it'd be certain situations where, you know, the conversation would come up about church or something, and I'm a real nigga, so sometimes I just like kind of, when I know a person ain't really ready for that type of information, I kind of just like, you know, let them do their talking, do their thing. But then sometimes, you know, I feel the need to stay with. I don't get with that. This is what's real. Blah 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 blah. And you fall out with a lot of people like that. And I'm the type of individual. I didn't really want that to happen with me and her. So that was kind of part of when I was like, damn, I don't want to. I'm like, man, should I say something, or you know, because I wanted to tell her about the water. I was gonna tell her about the water too. That's what it was. It was like, when I tell her about the alkaline water, do I go ahead and, because when I tell people about the spirituality thing, I do it because I do it out of love and knowing, not out of trying to, I want to be the teacher of you and all that shit. I do it because I feel like this is the type of information I know it's real. I know this is what has been hidden from us, this type of information and stuff. So if I love you, I don't want to see you walking around blind, still thinking that Jesus is the white man and blah 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 and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? Same way I wouldn't. The same way if same way if I seen something else that I need to pull your coat on, I do it. You know what I'm saying? And I figure this is the most important shit ever. So why would I not try to? If you around me long enough, eventually I'm going to at least try to introduce the information to you. You know, I've spent hours talking to people thinking that, you know, things were getting through to them or whatever. You know, talk to my voice was hoarse and shit and had a headache, and just to find out that the whole while, you know, they were just acting like they were listening to or taking what I was saying serious and shit. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think that's why right now I don't, you know, because you ask somebody that have a casual conversation with me, you know, about this type of shit, outside, off the camera and all that, they'll probably tell you that my videos are not as thunderous as our conversations be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you know, I've been wanting to get in front of the camera and speak for a minute now. I just wanted to wait till the right time, and then shit, by the time I get here and start all the shit I done went through before actually being able to be in a situation where I can get in front of this camera and be in here and chop it up with y'all, all that shit I done went through on the way here, I don't know, that shit kind of, I don't know, it kind of, that paired with reflecting on all the people that I talk to, and they be like, yeah, that makes sense, and then they go right back to church. You know, it makes me like, sometimes I just be like, you know, but I know better. I was gonna say sometimes I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, but I know better. I can see, at least from my timeline or timelines on my social media joints, I can see since I really started being vocal, a lot of people are at least opening their eyes. Maybe not, you know, you got to take baby steps in everything you do. So, you know, I can say that I feel like I did a pretty good job, even though I don't get no, even though for whatever reasons the love is all subtle and hidden and but you know, that's the story of my life. You know what I'm saying? It's always, I always been the nigga, the coolest nigga in the building, but it was, but it's always, not always, but for some people, like I said, I can't say that because my life is really balanced out. You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty hell of a balance. You know what I'm saying? But I do peep. It's always been like that though. It's always been the secret admirers who felt it wasn't cool to let it be known that I like you. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be just on some regular person shit, women, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I've always had those that openly, you know, express that too. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm just this guy. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, I done had, boy, I pretty much seen both sides of the gate. You know what I'm saying?